South Africans, let me educate you about your values. Something you think you are worth of. You think you are very expensive. You cannot afford to work for a cheap amount of money. I don't know if the person who told you that, did he really consider the people who are going to start business in South Africa at lower level? Did he really consider that to start a business you do not need 5 million? Did he really consider that if a 5 million is the one that make a South African qualify to start a business, it is going to automatically drop so many South Africans to have no interest in starting business? The amount of money you are worth as South Africans, the minimum amount of money, can automatically drop so many of you to have no interest in business. This is why we have fools of South Africans who are just waiting to work. They cannot afford to start their own thing because of the expensive demand of this act. No South Africans are having any interest in business. Did that person think about all these things? Did that person think about how he is destroying the interest of South Africans as individuals who are going to live in a South Africa where they are supposed to build? Look at you. If you can tell yourself the truth, without white people, you are nothing. Without these foreigners opening business, you are nothing. You are going to struggle. This certain value of you that you consider so much about yourself, do you know that it is the one that is causing so many South Africans to be able to employ Zimbabweans? Why Zimbabweans? Because Zimbabweans, they learn to survive. They learn to deal with situation and maneuver their way out of it. You employ a Zimbabwean truck driver and tell him to start from South Africa right now and go to DRC. He will finish those 2 months that needed to go and come back in the way without any complaint. A South African cannot survive that. Even in the way, if he had a puncture on the tire, he might even find his way to fix that tire or change the spare wheel. Listen to me, South Africans. There must be no boundary of how much a person is supposed to be paid for the service. This is supposed to be a negotiation between the two. It is not a government business. This is not supposed to be something that the government will poke nose until the agreement of the two is now being violated by one of them. Maybe police will be involved. The government is not supposed to contribute anything about their agreement. It is supposed to be between them. Unless if it is now government issues. Yes, maybe if it's the government work or something like that. Poke-nosing into people's personal business is destroying the mindset of South Africa, which we are dealing with today. If not for this nonsense you spread among your citizens, this noise will not have been happened. So many South Africans will have developed so much interest in business. I told you an example of a South African truck driver and a Zimbabwean truck driver. You cannot guarantee that your truck will come back safe if it goes with a South African for such long distance. But you can trust the Zimbabwean that it will do something. Life is all about survival. The government, I blame the government for this. The government of South Africa neglect some things. They put some forces in certain areas they should not put anything.